If you get dizzy immediately after you see a topographic map because you don't know what these lines in different colors and symbols means, it's okay. No one comes to this life already knowing how to read a topographical map. Hello and welcome to this video of the online video course Wilderness Navigation Masters, where I will show you how to recognize the topographic map features. When I say how to recognize the topographic map features, I simply mean how to recognize that this is a lake, this is a mountain, this is a trail, etc. If we want to classify the map features into different categories, we will have four main categories. The first one is the man-made, including buildings, roads, trails, boundaries, etc. The second category is hydrographic, like lakes, rivers, oceans, streams, coastal areas, swamps, etc. The third main category is the landforms, like canyons, valleys, hills, ridges, gullies, etc. And the last one is the vegetation, including national parks, forest canopy, farmland, etc. This is the main four features categories that a topo map have. There is another classification that we can run, which is using colors. The first color we see in a topographical map is the black, which is used for man-made features like buildings, trails, and boundaries. It's also used to naming landmarks like peaks. The second color is brown. It's the color used for contour lines. The third color is the blue. I think it's easy for this color. I'll give you 1 second to think. Yes, it's for hydrographic or water-related features. The next color is red. This color is for important roads and land boundaries like townships, national parks, section lines, etc. The last color is green. It's obvious too that the green color represents anything related to vegetation like trees, forests, etc. Now that we know the main four map features categories and the different colors and what everything represents, let's go to see that directly on a map. One thing before I do that, I want to just clarify that the map features are not always represented following the map scale. For example, a water stream in a topo map will not use the map scale, because if they use it, we will have a too much thin blue line that will need a magnifying glass to see it, which is not convenient, especially during an outdoor activity. Same thing with symbols. For example, it's hard for map makers to represent a well in a map, respecting the map scale, because it will be a little dot on the map and people can neglect it. For that, they use a symbol that is a little bit bigger than the well, and the center of this symbol is where the well is located. Yes, I know that this may be common sense, but I have to say it to stay clear. Now let's start recognizing topographic map features directly on a map. Here I regrouped any symbols related to hydrography in the USGS map legend. Like we see here, all the kind of streams like perennial, intermittent, or disappearing are represented just by a line, and all the rivers are represented like this. This is all the symbols that represent glacier and permanent snowfields. For the man-made hydrography features, we have covered reservoirs here and boat access here. Last thing in the hydrography is the coastal features. I see that this part of the map legend is self-explanatory. If you want this USGS map legend, you can find it below the video. Let's see these hydrography representations in this topographical map excerpt. Here we have a thick blue line that represents a major creek or a water stream, and another ones here as side creeks. Before I move to another map excerpt, I want you to know that topographical maps do not distinguish between a drinkable water and undrinkable water like salt water. But this is not a big deal, because most of the time the coastal water bodies are likely to be saltwater and undrainable, and an inland water body like a creek or a river, for example, are drinkable. Here in this map we have these weird blue symbols. Just from the color we know that it's something related to water. If we go back to the USGS map legend, we know that this symbol represents a swamp. In the same area, we have some dashed blue lines. Before I see the legend, I was thinking that this is for a very small creek. But it was representing indefinite or unsurveyed water line, so watch out, because it's an indefinite information. Here, like you see, it's a creek that goes into an intermittent lake or pond. Let's see these two map excerpts of the same spot with the same exact scale. Like I've said before, in topo maps, the tiny features don't follow the map scale. Like here, if you see this river and this creek, you think that you can see both of them from a satellite photo, which is not true, because you can't figure them out here. I think it's enough for hydrography map features. Let's recognize the green or the vegetation features. For vegetation areas, there is not too much to say because it's super clear and simple too. The woodland, like a forest, is represented by a little dark green color. Shrublands or bushes are represented by these unorganized green circles, and orchards are represented by these organized or lined green circles. Vineyards are similar to the orchard. The only difference is size of the circles. And here is the sample which represents the mangrove or small trees that grows in brackish water. After we've read this map legend part related to vegetation, we easily know that here and here it's a woodland. And it's true after we convert this topo map excerpt to satellite view. Another topographic satellite map excerpt comparison. Here at the right, this green zone corresponds exactly to the same spot in the satellite view, except what's at the left. Here we see a woodland zone that should be exactly like what we've just seen, but in the satellite view we see a man-made features like buildings and roads. From that, we know that this topographic map is a little bit older than the satellite view. That's enough for now. Let's see the man-made features. When I say man-made features, I'm talking about everything made by man, like roads, buildings, railways, tunnels, etc. Even trees are considered a man-made feature. This is the man-made topo map samples part. As you see, we have primary highway and secondary highway, and the different types of roads like the paved, gravel, dirt and four-wheeled roads. Here we have highway or road channel, and here we have the railroads like single and multiple tracks, railroad underpass and overpass. And here we have buildings. The little ones like the houses are represented by this little black square, and the big buildings like malls and factories etc. are represented by bigger black symbols. This is a good topographic satellite map excerpt comparison where we can easily see the highway, which is this, and the little houses represented by the little black squares, which are here. In this topographic map excerpt, we have a red thick line that usually represents highways. But in this case, because it have dashes in each border of the line, I know that it's a highway under construction. Here we have a power and transmission line represented by a black line with some dots in it. Here we can see that there is a secondary highway that should be here in this satellite view. We have another road here, which is this, and this unimproved road which goes here. Now let's start with the first quiz to test what you did just see in this video. Quiz number 1. Which one of the photos below correspond to this topo map excerpt? A, B, or C? Quiz number 2. If the direction of the slope is the same direction of the arrow, which means that the left side of the photo is high in altitude than the right side, can we see this water body from this place of the trail? A. Yes, for sure. B. Maybe. C. No, for sure. Quiz number 3. Which one of these topographic map excerpts correspond to the satellite view? Answers and explanations. Quiz number 1. Which one of the photos below correspond to this topo map excerpt? The correct answer is the answer B, because the green color represents a woodland area. In the first photo, both sides of the road are green, but it's not considered a woodland area. In the third photo, we have some woodland zones like here and here, but they are separated. And in the second photo, we have dense trees. So the correct answer is the answer B. Quiz number 2. If the direction of the slope is at the same direction of the arrow, which means the left side of the photo is high in altitude than the right side, can we see this water body from this place of the trail? Correct answer is maybe, because even we are at a high altitude place, the trail are in a woodland area, and it depends on the density of the trees and stuff like that. Which one of these topographic map excerpts correspond to this satellite view? To know the correct answer, we have to identify the differences between these three photos. The first difference is the highway. In the second photo, it stops at this place and the other ones continue. The second difference is these little houses here. They are only in the third topographical map. So the correct answer is C, because this highway corresponds to this and these houses correspond to those here. Exercise number 1. In the first exercise, I want you to download the USGS map legend from the link below the video and read it. Then in the exercise number 2, I want you to open the web tool called Topo View, link below, and search for a place that you are familiar with and see the topographical view. In the last exercise, I want you to open the web tool called My Topo, preferably from the link below the video, to go directly to the page of the online maps and search for any area that you want and switch between the topo map and the satellite view to be familiar with reading a topographical map. Here I want you to know that you may see some differences between the satellite and the topographical view, especially in man-made features like houses and buildings in general, because the topographic map used here is a little bit older than the satellite view. That's all for this video. Like always, don't forget to interact with us in the comment section below, letting us know what you did learn from this video. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.